Hi, everybody. I believe I'm live. We are in again where we are streaming on multiple platforms. So I am so glad that everybody is here. Well, I don't know if anyone is here yet because I'm still learning this system, but at least I'm not having issues like I did before. So I hope everybody had a fabulous week. I am really looking forward to talking to everybody again. And my name is RivkaLeah, and I, again, am very happy to be here with everybody. And I also have to tell everybody every week I am not a doctor or a therapist. Everything that I talk about is from my own experiences or experiences of trusted friends. And tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit about um, what did I want to talk about tonight? Oh, why do we always pick the same? Hi. Sorry, my producer is here. So she just wanted to pop in real quick and say hi to everybody. We talked a little bit during the week, I'm pretty sure, about why we are always picking the same people, and we don't have to bring the strays home all the time. And I know that it sounds a little weird to phrase it that way, but a lot of people have been asking me, you know, why do I end up in the same relationship, and why do I continually go to the same types of people, whether they have the same dark personality traits or what have you. And there's several different reasons why that it happens. And we had talked a few weeks ago about the dark personality traits and how, for narcissists, a lot of times that can stem from them being frozen in childhood. They had some sort of trauma in childhood, which grew them into being a narcissist, and it has carried them through the rest of their lives. Enter in people into a narcissist's life, and the narcissist starts treating them poorly, gaslighting them, love bombing them. And so these individuals start to develop a trauma bond with them. And they may have worked on themselves and gotten away from a narcissist, but then they seem to be drawn to another narcissist or some other dark personality trait, or maybe they don't even happen to have a dark personality trait. They just have a couple bad, behavioral traits, right? And because the individual has a trauma bond. And even though they're working on healing themselves and going forward, they haven't addressed a lot of the root causes as to where that came from. And it may have started even when they were a child. Maybe they were raised by a narcissist or someone that treated them poorly. Or they could have been in a relationship with someone who treated them poorly. So they kind of carry it all the way through. So I don't know. I don't think there's anybody on here tonight. So I'm just really talking to myself.
Actually, you have two people on here.
Oh.
So you're not talking to yourself, and now I'm going to go away again. You like that? It's like I slide in and slide out.
You slide inside. I know, because I can't see if there's anyone here or not.
No, I can see, because again, I've got the control side, so I can tell you that you got a couple people listening to, and I do know a couple people said they couldn't listen live, but they're going to be watching it later. So the floor's all yours. I just wanted to let you know so you're not talking to yourself.
All right, I appreciate it.
No problem. I'll be back.
All right. So, Marissa, everybody. So, again, a lot of the reasons that this could happen, or I shouldn't say a lot of the reasons, but some of the reasons that these things could have happened, or why you keep going to the same type of person and why you're attracted to picking up the strays, so to speak. It could have been your upbringing, as I said, or it, and that creates, subconscious patterns. And we've talked a little bit about this in some previous weeks. Um, and those, when I was referring to like your beliefs and your habits, and a lot of times you just believe something because someone told you it was true, or it was just going on around you and you never questioned it. So it became a subconscious pattern. And that's what started to influence you. And you would look for those same types of characteristics that you were used to, regardless if you liked them or not, you were used to them. So you would subconsciously look for them in another partner or a friend. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner, it can just be a friend. Um, it could even be people that you work with that, they may not be the nicest people, but you keep holding out hope that they're going to change. And, actually, in fact, I can segue that into the podcast that I just released this week. I spoke with Chris, who worked with a narcissist, and she kept holding out hope that this individual was going to change. And she became conditioned over, I believe it was a 10-year period of this individual treating her poorly. She became conditioned to accept those treatments. And after she left that situation, it took her a little bit of time to break those habits that she had become used to and conditioned to. So she, did a lot of work on herself to go forward in that. Um, so again, another reason that this could be happening is you may recognize it, but it is so deep rooted into you that you really think that you're going to be able to fix this other person, or save them, rescue them, however you want to phrase it. And, I believe that I've talked about in the past that it is, we cannot fix another person. First of all, it's not our responsibility to fix another person. If they want to be fixed, that's something that they need to deal with. And we are never responsible for fixing somebody else. Um, but that doesn't change if you were conditioned to always be a people pleaser, or somebody who, because you had been traumatized or treated poorly growing up, or treated poorly in another relationship, you want to fix somebody else so that they don't continue to treat you that way. And again, people who have dark personality traits, or even, just some bad mannerisms, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are bad people. They just may not know how to frame it properly. And they tend to take it out on those that are the closest to them. So let's see, how else do I want to say this? Because another part of this, being trauma bonded to an individual because you have, a need to people please, or a rescue complex. And a lot of times that's associated with individuals who are very empathetic, and caring people. So they do, that's just who they are by nature. But that can also turn into having some variation of an imposter syndrome, where they they can recognize that they're continually going to people that may be treating them poorly, but they don't feel that, their self-esteem is bad, or their self-confidence is bad. So they don't feel that they have the right to actually break away from them. So they feel like they're an imposter in that sense, that they have to stay in this situation, even though they know that they shouldn't be there, or they don't want to be there. So there's a lot of little ins and outs with all of this. Um, what can you do if the person who caused you trauma will not get out of your life? Um, well, ultimately, that is your choice. It's not their choice. you can make a conscious choice to leave the situation. If they continue to come into your life, there are other things that you can do to protect yourself. And again, I'm not a doctor or a therapist. I am not, in the legal realm to give you any kind of legal advice on that. There's a lot of different support groups and counseling groups that could advise you if they are not leaving you alone. But if the individual who is causing you trauma is still in your life and you are doing your healing and you want to move forward and break that bond, then you need to make that conscious decision to exit the situation. And, I don't say that lightly to people because I completely understand that there are a lot of components to leaving a situation. And not every situation is the same. They're not all easy, and it's not a one size fits all thing. So if they're still causing you trauma and they are not willing to get help for themselves, know that you can't fix them. Continue to work on yourself and look for a way to exit the situation safely for yourself. Um, so moving on to, once we recognize that and we see that perhaps we did have an imposter syndrome and we had the trauma bond with somebody, because we had come out of a relationship. And again, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be, a family relationship. It can be a work relationship. We've come out of a situation with somebody who has treated us poorly. And we've had this need to rescue them or people please them. And, we come across other people that are that same type of personality. They always, the black cloud is over them. They always have the bad things happen to them. They're the victim, and they look to somebody else to take care of it. And then when that person enters the situation to try to help them, that's when they start treating them poorly. So once you recognize these patterns and where they're rooted, and also understand how the beliefs have influenced your behaviors, and recognizing that those beliefs may not necessarily have been your beliefs. They were beliefs that other individuals put on you in the situation, and you just adopted them because, and if this had started when you were a child, you adopted them, one, because you didn't have a coping mechanism, you didn't know any better. But as an adult, these have been ingrained into you, and you just accepted somebody else's beliefs as true. And now that you see that they may not necessarily be true, I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to have that imposter syndrome. I don't want to try to fix somebody because it's not my responsibility. Then that's where you continue with your healing journey, and you work with your self-care. You work on your self-confidence, you work on your grounding, you do a lot, you meditate, you go inside, you come out of your head and into your heart, and you look for what is truly in you, what your root is, and where you would like to go with this. um, and, I don't know if anyone wants me to talk a little bit more about how some of the trauma bonding can start and why people don't leave. I know a lot of people hear about the Stockholm syndrome, and that's, you stay with somebody because even though you don't want to be there, you still just, they've convinced you that you have to be there regardless, no matter what. Um, Same with cognitive dissonance. You know you wanted to be there, but you continually hold out hope that you're going to be able to help them. But at some point, coming into your heart and realizing that you need to help yourself before anybody else will help advance you forward in what you're doing. And So breaking that bond when you're healing from a relationship, it takes a lot of strength, a lot of courage, a lot of support. And I always tell everybody in our group, we are here to help and support everybody on their journey, no matter where they are on that journey. And come in and talk to other people and see where they are. Someone may have an idea that you haven't come up with. If you're in a situation that is not safe, there are a lot of professional support groups out there that you can reach out to, and they can help point you in the direction that you need for that. Seeking professional help is always something that you can go to as well. I love to tell people to make sure that they take advantage of all the opportunities that are out there to protect themselves and get them to a place where they can start doing what they want to do for themselves without worrying about what somebody else is wanting or needing. Um, I'm glad that you have an excellent support team. That is key. I think more people need a support team. And another thing, it's interesting. So this kind of make me segue a little bit. Having a support team. Once you start healing, and I believe I talked about this in one of our other lives. Once you start healing and your vibration changes, you will naturally pull away from the toxic people and the toxic relationships because you've done that work on yourself. So if you're in a bad situation or there's just toxic people around you, once you start changing, consciously making changes to yourself, happier people will come around you, and then you will start to see that you will then naturally have a support team where when you're in that relationship, you may not necessarily have a full support team. You may have a couple friends there, which obviously is amazing and great. But once you start recognizing all the signs and your healing continues, your support team will grow and you'll have more resources to move out to and work on whatever else you want to work on. Then that would also include, setting your boundaries, because that is another part of the trauma bond is people don't have their boundaries firmly in place, and these individuals kind of just stomp all over them, and you get accustomed to it and you don't even realize that you don't have boundaries because you're just used to being treated that way. So once you do this self-reflection and work on your self-care and your confidence comes up and your self-esteem comes up, you realize, hey, I can set boundaries and I'm going to start taking care of myself. I'm not going to take care of anybody else, let them deal with their own issues. And I know I'm repeating myself a lot tonight. I'm sorry about that. But these are just things that are so important to me and my support team and people that I know that have gone through this. And I just can't talk about it enough that on how very important it is to just take care of yourself and give yourself that space that you need so that you can move forward. And again, I'm not saying that these toxic relationships, that these people are 100% bad, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying that, because everybody, there can be good in everybody, but you have to look out for yourself first and foremost. So that's really, I didn't have a huge talk plan for you guys this week. I just really wanted to keep repeating this so that people understand how important self-care is, self-reflection is, and grounding yourself so that you can take an honest look at the situations that you're in. And again, that doesn't even mean that anybody you're in a toxic situation, but to have that self-reflection and take an honest look at every situation that you're in and see if, hey, you want to kind of make some changes just for yourself. So something to think about there. A lot of, grounding and self-reflecting, huge for self-improvement. I also have good news. I don't know if everybody has been noticing. Our podcasts have been going out, I believe, on Tuesdays. We had another one come out on Tuesday, and we'll have another one coming out this upcoming Tuesday. Also, the class should be released this weekend, I believe. And we have, oh my goodness, we have so much stuff going on. We're also working on a new little Radiance with Rivka segment where I will pop on each day for a couple minutes to give everybody a little highlight, something, a little nugget to think about all day, and maybe something that you can take action on that may resonate with you. So that's really what I had for everybody this week. I don't know. Does my producer have anything else for me?
Of course I do.
What did I forget?
The awesome new membership that's coming out as well.
Yes, I started with my class and I forgot the membership. So we do have a membership coming out, where you get be in the membership is part of the private group. We have private calls with me. We have just more private information through the membership. What else am I forgetting?
Well, there's going to be new monthly meditations that are going to be added. There's
Correct.
going to be announcements that will not be on social media. So, for example, when there's some events that we're in the works of planning, so they'll be announced first inside of the membership. The membership, our goal for it, and what we've been talking about on the back end and the team that we're so excited about to support Rivka, is that we want it to be a place that people that have become survivors or are still trying to identify it, that it's a place for gathering, not just online, but we're going to be taking it to offline facilities as well and grow the membership. So that's why, sorry, that's mine.
No, you're fine.
I'm like super, super excited about that one.
I am too. And I always,
okay.
I'm hesitant as to how much I say because I want a little bit of mystery, like, ooh, what am I going to get? Because there is so much value in the membership. And, like Marissa said, we are going to go off site. We're going to have some live events coming up too. So
you can blame me later. You can fire me after the call because I'm just too excited. I've been working on this for months, so I get to spill the beans a little bit.
I know. I'm trying to keep, I'm sure people can tell I am excited, but I want a little bit of mystery there. I want them to, anyone can message me or the team and say, hey, what else is in there? It's just a vast array of fun and informative things in the membership, and you get more of me and Marissa. My whole team will be there.
Yeah, we actually have some plans for the team too that we haven't even told you about. They're showing up a bit more as well. So we've got projects and we've got surprises for you didn't even know about. So
that's awesome. But see, that is a good point to what I said about people coming into our collective for support, because that's what we do. We support people. I have an amazing team, as you can see. So coming into the collective, you get a built-in support team. So if you don't happen to have a support team, or you only have 1 or 2 people on your support team, you can come into the collective. And I believe we're up to 70 some odd people in the group. That's a pretty big support team. And, then you can have all these fun things come up for you, like me. I love having new information given to me and all the fun stuff that's coming in. And by the way, she's teasing. I do know some of the stuff. We're keeping that mystery going on there.
May I add one more thing for our beautiful group?
Absolutely.
I would love to see more people talk about themselves.
Yes.
So inside of the group, if anybody feels comfortable to share and wants to start sharing a little bit about their story and why they chose to join the collective team as a member within the group membership, wherever it may be, I would love to hear more of the stories, because that's the way we can then know how to adapt, to be able to support
Right.
and just be there for people. So the more feedback that we get within this group, the better.
The
Like I
better.
would love it if we get more of that. Just because I know it's hard to always go first. You know, everybody always says that they don't want to, but you know, I know that one of our team members did a couple weeks ago, and I would love to hear more of the stories just so we can properly support everyone.
Right. And again, if you don't want to initially go public in the group, you are always welcome to private message me, private message any one of the team. And
And
we
there's
are,
also anonymous posting within the group. So somebody
yes,
can
there
post
is.
anonymously too.
Yes. So, if you're concerned about sharing your story and having your name in there, again, you can put that out there anonymously, and then people can respond and give you, some ideas and support you, but you don't have to feel uncomfortable having your name out there. So that is always an option. We try to be a very safe community for everybody, inclusive and safe. Those are key when someone is on a healing journey. And again, if anyone is interested, like I said, I'm doing my podcasts. Feel free to reach out to me, and perhaps we can work something out, and I can have somebody else come on the podcast, and you can talk that way, and we'll just grow the community more. So a lot of fun things coming up, and we will continue to talk about self-care and working on our self-reflection. um, I actually just told Marissa this today. Next week, and I'm going to tell you now, because I did not tell her that I was going to do this next week, but I would love to talk about leadership roles and how that plays into your healing, and what you need to do for that. So next week, we're going to be talking about how we become the leader of our own healing and our own self-care. So that's for next week. So I hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. Here in the Northeast, it's beautiful. I actually was going to do this outside, but my computer was dying and I didn't have a long enough cord. So I'm still in the office, but it's a beautiful night. So I hope wherever you are, that it is beautiful where you are and you can get outside and enjoy the weather. And until next week, I look forward to seeing everybody. So cheers, everybody.